Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, I've got a topic that I want to discuss. And I don't normally tell people how to enjoy their whiskey. I say whiskey is best enjoyed the way that you like it. But I do feel like I have some pointers. So these are all representations of whiskeys that I enjoy at room temperature. My close friends know that I like my whiskey at room temperature or better. And I'm pretty sure you guys are probably saying, well, what do you mean or better? A few years ago, when I was working on my golf clubs in the garage, I had a bottle of Henry McKenna that I left in the garage overnight. And we're talking about in the middle of summer. So I was reshafting them, had to let the epoxy dry. The next day I had to go out there and I had to, cut them to length, make sure that they were where I wanted them to be, re-grip them, all that stuff. So anyway, I saw my bottle of Henry McKenna out there, poured up a glass, and I was blown away. The heat did something to the bottle. It changed it. So leave your favorite whiskey out in the garage in the summertime overnight and thank me later. Because like I said, I enjoy, these are all representations of different styles of whiskeys. You've got your Peerless Double Oak, you've got your Stag 22A, you've got your Honey and Amberana finished Rio over here, and then you've got your 7-year rye. These are all great at room temperature. I love them at room temperature. I never mix ice with my whiskey. It doesn't do it for me, and the ice starts to melt, then it kind of waters it down. So I actually, when it comes to other whiskeys, and we'll get to that in a moment on the channel, I will use stones or stainless steel cubes. But this bottle right here was the bottle that got me started. Now, even if you don't decide to leave it in the garage, run a glass, your favorite glass, under the hottest water that you can stand, and just let that glass warm up. Pour yourself a little bit, swish it around the glass to try and get that glass to warm up, and just watch the notes that come out of that glass. Everything is just like on 100. Like it is just magnified. It's like the flavors come across just different. Look, trust me when I tell you, if you try your favorite one warmed up a little bit, you will see that the flavor notes, they come across richer, more caramel notes. The sweeter notes seem to be more rounded, put it that way. They seem to meld together better than they do when they're just coming off at room temperature. So I'm going to get into two of my favorites right now, and one of them will actually get a quick review because I know this bottle was just on the last episode, well, not the Sunday Samples episode, but the bottles of bourbon that, I talked about on the Bourbon Snob video. So one being the Wild Turkey 101. Right now, this is a hell of a bottle when it's warmed up. It is probably about 9:30, 10 o'clock right now at night on a Saturday, and my garage is sitting at 87 degrees. So it got up to probably about 95 degrees in the garage today, and I let this thing sit out there. I've just been like doing little experiments to see which ones I like the most now. And you know what? This Wild Turkey 101, it was still spicy, but it was very good. That clove and cinnamon note did not still pop up as much, but those sweeter, richer caramel and honey notes, oh my gosh, they just were brought to the forefront. All right, and this one right here, let me get a glass. All right, so this is the Bitter Holiday, bottled and bond. This is the 100 proof wheater, the soft red wheat. I let this thing sit out in the garage with the Wild Turkey. And all I can say is this, it is just phenomenal, man. All right, let's get into the nose. All right, so right off the bat, I'm getting a lot of grape, getting a lot of oak, some lemon citrus notes. And that's pretty much it. All right, let's get into the palate. This is where I fell in love with this bottle. There's almost, this is going to sound so weird. That's almost honey and cream mixed together, topped off with like a drip of grape juice. That is wild. That is wild to me. The first time I cracked this bottle open months ago when I did a bottle haul, I did not get those. Having this thing sit out in the garage all day has just made it phenomenal, man. Let's go back into the nose one more time. Oh, that grape is even heavier now. The grape is heavier, the oak is heavier. That lemon citrus is still there. It is not as prevalent as it was on the first nosing. A little bit of like a light cream comes out back into the palate one more time. That's just good. This might be my new favorite to leave in the garage. Anyway, all right, let's get these two off the table, and I'll go to ones that I like chilled down a bit. Now, like I said, I don't typically do ice because ice to me ruins it. Ice just kind of waters everything down, and it waters it down at a rate that in which I don't like. I like consistency when it comes to whiskey. So if you're gonna drop, add a drop of water, that's fine. Add two drops of water, that's fine. Ice is gonna sit there and constantly melt, so it's always gonna change the flavor of the whiskey, which I don't like. So, I've had different people, my sons, my sister-in-law, people buy me like whiskey kits for Christmas, Father's Day, things like that. So the whiskey stones, they're great at just chilling a whiskey down, and the stainless steel whiskey cubes are great at chilling a whiskey down. So whiskeys that I like to drink kind of on a chiller level is going to be the Glenmorangie Quinta Reuben, or Quinta Reuben, maybe I'm saying that wrong. This is the 14-year. To me, when you chill it down, it just brings out so many of those flavors. Beautiful, beautiful fruit notes, rich fruit notes, plum, grapes, all of those things that you typically find in a single malt. And that Quinta Reuben cask really influences this bottle. So when I chill this thing down, it just gets richer and those flavors become livelier. Another one, this is actually my first Indian single malt with blended by the blessing of Miss Nancy Fraley. So this has been blended by the nose herself, Miss Fraley. And when I got it home, I picked this up at Angel Share. This was my first time ever going to that store. Excellent store up in Crofton. If you haven't been there, check that store out. And I got it home because I had been wanting to try an Indian single malt. The Amroots that I find around me tend to be about $75-$80. Without having to pour first, I don't know if I'm willing to spend that. Some of them are even double that price, believe it or not. So this one right here was coming in at $45. Picked it up, got it home. I enjoyed it. I really did enjoy it. I do want to put it on the channel, give it a full review. Then I took some of the stainless steel stones and put it in it, and it brought it to life. All of the flavors that I enjoyed from the beginning, because to me, when you start to get into the flavored single malts, they're kind of like a summertime pour. They're very bright. Those fruit notes are very light. They come across, they're not fleeting, but they come across as light, very tolerable on the palate in the summertime when you've got a lot of heat. So I was like, okay, this is a great summertime pour. Then I put those stainless steel stones in it. Oh my gosh, man. It just made everything richer, livelier, darker. I was like, oh, I could do that. So these are the ones that I suggest you chill down. Your finished single malts or just single malts in general. And I think you'll enjoy them maybe even more than you typically do. Now, this last one on the list, I talk about this bottle a lot. However, it has been edged out by its brother. So the Jack Daniel single barrel proof now has been edged out by the Jack Daniel single barrel proof rye. But the reason why I want to talk about this bottle is because this was the first Jack Daniels that I had that, even though it comes in hot, this one is 130.0 proof. So it's 130 proof. It drinks hotter than 130 proof. It is spicy. Like, you get all of the Jack notes, you get the banana bread, but it is something that is super spicy about this bottle. However, I took this bottle and did something that I typically don't do. I put it in a glass and added a couple drops of water, and it opened up. It opened up completely. it brought those heated notes down to a level that was just enjoyable. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what have I been missing out on? So whenever I get a hot bottle from now on, I am going to just add a couple of drops of water and see where it takes me. So look, I've had a great time putting this video together for you guys. Tell me how you like to drink your whiskey. And with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you head it to a drop. Till next time.